guys, what's up? So today's video is going to be all about pain management. It's going to be pain management with a chronic illness. It's going to be pain management with an autoimmune disease, and really just trying to avoid pain medication. So let's get going. I'm not really sure where to start with this video, but I guess we can start at the beginning of my journey with Lyme. Lyme caused a lot of serious pain in my body, through joint pain, through what I call bone marrow pain, which makes sense because Lyme does settle in bone marrow. And so sometimes the pain that I get in my legs, especially, or my hands, it's almost like it's radiating from inside my bone. So I call that bone marrow pain. Muscle pain, yeah, but when it's at its worst, it's like it's coming from my bone marrow. And obviously the joint pain and the headaches associated, especially with the Bartonella in the back of the head. There is just a lot of pain from Lyme, just chronic pain. So on top of that, when I was first sick and I had my celiac artery was compressed, that also caused significant amounts of pain. Even if I was eating or not, I was in chronic GI tract, excruciating pain. I would call it excruciating because I have never been in such pain like that in my life. And it was during those times that I actually, pain meds like ibuprofen and stuff did not touch it. So it was during that time that I believe my neurologist, he did prescribe me some heavy pain meds. And my other functional medicine doctor also prescribed me some pain meds. Now, of course, my parents, they were the one that kept them. So I wasn't like, I didn't have them at my disposal. I also am not I do not have the predisposition or the genetics to be addictive to things. So that was never a worry. I never became addicted to these pain meds. But I would end up taking them essentially when my parents would see me suffering so much that they would be like, Gaby, you need to take this Vicodin. And viewers can perceive that as how they want to. But my parents are very smart. They're very caring. They're very loving. And they're very smart when it comes to like the human body and what's good for you. And we've always been super natural. We've never been ones to go to the doctor, get shots, get vaccines, and all that stuff. But so when my parents are saying, Gaby, you need to take this pain med, it is for a good reason. And that's pretty much because of what my body was going through, especially with the compressed celiac artery. Sometimes in such extreme cases, it is better to take a pain medication. And so I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, if you're on the autoimmune protocol, I give you clearance to take pain meds. No, I'm not a doctor. I'm not the ones that created the protocol, whatever. And I completely understand why when you're on that protocol, you need to get rid of all the things that could potentially be causing your your immune system to overreact. But this was not then. That was not when I was on the autoimmune protocol. That was just when I was in extreme pain. So I do have a history of having to take such severe pain medications or such strong pain medications for the severe pain. So that's where my journey with pain really began, and it was extremely bad. So obviously, like I said, I was not addicted to them. I might take them every couple of weeks or whenever my parents really recommended that I take it. But thankfully, that pain subsided through the months and through the years. Obviously, since I got a diagnosis, it's been over, 7 years? So obviously, the time that I was on those pain meds, it wasn't consistently, and I knew what they were doing to my GI tract, but at the time I was so sick. So that was like my little rant about pain meds. I understand that sometimes it can be so severe that you have to take something. But that kind of leads me into my next section, which is where I'm going to talk about how I deal with pain without those painkillers. Ever since I got sick, I've been looking for ways to decrease my pain. That's just my natural, anyone naturally, if they're in pain, they're going to want to look for ways to get out of it. But especially when I started the autoimmune protocol and I was not supposed to be taking things like ibuprofen or any painkillers for that matter, that really pushed me to find some other means of pain management and pain relief. So one of the big ones in my healing journey was acupuncture, mainly for my joint pain and my bone marrow pain. A good acupuncture session would significantly decrease my joint pain. Now, not to say it would make it go away completely. I would still deal with it, but it's almost like it would muffle it. It would decrease my inflammation. And a lot of this pain stems from Lyme itself. It wasn't necessarily from a food reaction, but acupuncture definitely helped and definitely does still help. There was one point where I was getting it every week or a couple times a week. But for me, getting or seeing an acupuncturist that really knows what they're doing is when I would find the most relief. And I'm not well versed in the realm of acupuncture. I don't know tons about it. I mean, I know the basics, but whenever I was under the care of someone that really knew what they were doing and had been doing it for a while and had a lot of experiences with it, that's when I found the most pain relief and the most benefits. So a good acupuncturist has been key for my pain management, which leads us into our next one. So acupuncture, obviously, I know that's a little bit more expensive for some people. Massage was a big one that we did try for a little while, and like myofascial release, because when you're really sick, your myofascial, I don't know, like chronic pain syndrome or whatever, it's been linked to the myofascial and all that kind of stuff. So we tried that for a while. It did help. But again, a lot of my pain does not stem from my muscles. It stems from my bones and my joints. So it helped to an extent, but it was more like a pain relief in the moment, and then in the future, like it would kind of go away kind of thing. So massage was big, but definitely not as big as acupuncture. And then essential oils. I have been using essential oils for years now. And again, I would use them mainly for joint and bone pain. Ones like spearmint and peppermint, those are big, like the cooling ones. I've also used like the different digestive blends for my GI tract to help with pain. Also pain that I get from Lyme, or pain that's Lyme related, would be from my gallbladder, my liver, and peppermint, lemon, and rosemary have always been the biggest source of pain relief for me. I know it's kind of different for everyone, but those three essential oils, if I rub them all over this side by my gallbladder and my liver, the pain significantly decreases. So essential oils have been big. I use Young Living. They are just who I prefer and my favorite brand. Next up on pain relief, I've always been big on baths. Epsom salt baths, any type of detox bath helps, and it has always helped me tremendously with my joint pain and my overall body pain. I'll sit in there until I turn into a raisin or a prune or whatever you want to call it, till I'm like shriveled, and that helps a lot. One thing that I would say moving forward is, so I have found in my journey with Lyme that a lot of the times that I have significant pain in my joints or my bones or anywhere in my body, it is because my detox pathways are sluggish, or they are clogged, or something like that. So if I'm experiencing a lot of joint pain, that means, it doesn't always mean, but it usually means that I'm not eliminating the toxins fast enough for my body to deal with them. So in those cases, yeah, an Epsom salt bath will help. Yes, acupuncture will help. Yes, what did I say, baths already? I don't know. Yes, all those things will help. But what helps me the most is a colonic. And I know colonics can be super controversial in the realm of the autoimmune protocol and all that, and just the realm of health. Some people that say they deplete your GI tract of the beneficial bacteria. Some say that your intestines get too dependent on them and they won't move on themselves. Well, I've been doing them for years, and I am fully aware of all of these different theories and hypotheses and thoughts on colonics. And I've always, phone's dying. I have always known these things and been aware of them. So when I've been doing them for years, I've been like, okay, I've got to make sure I'm not becoming dependent on them. Got to make sure my gut flora stays balanced and all that stuff. So I think if you do that, you'll be fine, because I have been fine. My GI function, my GI tract is not dependent on them. My gut flora is better than it's ever been, and I've still been doing them. So back to what I was saying, colonics help get those toxins out. They help when my gallbladder and liver release because of a treatment that I'm having, which is the case for a lot of treatments that I've had. My gallbladder will release and dump into my GI tract. They help significantly with my pain. Like, I can't even tell you how much they help, and that is because they get all the toxins out. The toxins that are clogging my body, that are making my lymph clog, that are making my joints hurt, it just gets them all out. And the pain relief is, I don't want to say it's instant, but it's pretty close. Another source of pain relief that I found is saunas. Now, saunas can be a two-edged sword with someone with a chronic illness, especially for myself. Like, they exhaust me, and I feel very depleted afterwards. So then I'll have to spend the rest of the day pretty much resting, wake up the next morning, and then I might feel refreshed. But yeah, they're pretty exhausting. I've been in a bunch of different types. I've been just in the infrared sauna. I had a practitioner, she had one that not only was an infrared sauna, it had the Rife machine built into it, it had ozone therapy, and it had, is it called chromotherapy, the colors or whatever? So that one was intense, and I loved it, and it definitely helped with my pain. It was huge in killing the Bartonella. The Rife would really target the Bartonella and all that stuff. And just the heat would help with my joints. All that to say, I was not necessarily pain-free when I would come out of the sauna. A lot of times, because it was killing the Bartonella and because it was targeting the different infections, I would get a headache, the classic Bartonella headache in the back of my head, that would not go away from Epsom salt baths. It would not go away from essential oils, and it would not go away with even painkillers, just because it's the active infection, and unless I'm getting rid of the infection, it's not going to go away. So all that to say, saunas in the long run definitely help with pain management, but for me at least, they were never an instant source of pain relief like some of the other things. Or I don't want to say everything was instant, but sometimes the pain relief would come days after, or just in the long run, less pain. A lot of people ask me oh, do you have a supplement, or do you know anything that will really help with my joint pain or whatever? The answer to the question is no. I think the biggest thing is figuring out what is causing the joint pain. So is it a food reaction? Is your infection, when it comes to Lyme, is your infection active? Or is your infection, are you taking something that is killing the infection? Because a lot of times for me, my joint pain will rev up even more so when I'm having die-off. And so if it's die-off, okay, in my head and for my body, I think, okay, I need to get rid of the toxins. So again, colonics are big. Coffee enemas help a lot. Obviously, colonics, I can't afford them to get them as much. Ooh, there's a bug. I can't afford to get them as much as I need, technically, and would want to. So then I will supplement with coffee enemas. And I know people are squeamish about colonics, and they're like, I don't want someone sticking something up my butt. But I'm like, dude, if it helps with your pain that much, and if even this, because I'm not going to say that it's going to help with everyone's pain the way it helps with my pain, but even if there's the possibility that it will help with pain that much, give it a shot. And I know there's going to be people watching this that are again, believe all the negative things about colonics and won't give them a try. But you know what? Whatever. I know for myself, they've been huge. They still are huge. I highly recommend them. Of course, I highly recommend that you find someone that's knowledgeable in what they're doing, has been doing it for years, and has, quite honestly, the best people that I found, hydrocolon therapists that I have found, all have experiences in their own health struggles. I think that just makes them a better therapist, whatever you want to call them, and just more knowledgeable and more interested and eager to learn about their service, I guess you could say, because anyone can learn how to do hydrocolon therapy. But I think it takes a special individual to really be a quote-unquote healer when it comes to that. So, yeah, again, find someone with experience, knowledge, empathy, and just someone that's really good. Also, I do closed systems. I don't do the open systems. Never want to try one of those, quite honestly. So, yeah. But colonics, they've been big for me. And I would say give it a shot, because if you're having trouble with your detox pathways, they can definitely help. So that's about it, guys. What did we cover? Essential oils have been big. Acupuncture, massage, colonics. What did I say? I said coffee enemas, Epsom salt baths. And I guess one other one that I would really quickly want to cover is movement, especially when you struggle with stiff joints and stuff like that. I have found that movement has always been essential. Going on walks or even just rebounding on my mini trampoline, that helps a lot with like my knee. Sorry, I have burp. My knee pain and my joint pain. Some people think it's counterintuitive because you're jumping and that's going to hurt your joints, but no, I've never found that to be true. It's always helped because especially when it's lymph that's getting clogged around your joints and whatever, just getting clogged, obviously that helps a lot with making your lymph flow better. So essential oils, detox baths, acupuncture, massage, colonics, coffee enemas, rebounding or walking, and that's about it. Those are that is what I have used over the years to kind of help with my pain management. Sorry, I didn't get it. There's a mosquito. Those are what I've helped. And so, again, it's hard to be perfect when it comes to avoiding pain medication. And I don't want to say this in the scheme of like the autoimmune protocol, because I completely stand behind eliminating all these inflammatory things to get the most out of your healing and get the most out of the protocol. So aside from the protocol, I realize it's difficult just in general when you have a chronic illness and you have chronic pain to not reach for the painkillers, even if it's just an ibuprofen. And I get that. And so I would say, obviously we're not all perfect, and I'll admit I will reach for those sometimes. But I think what's important is that when you do reach for those, and if you do end up having to take them because you're just in so much pain, you can't get sleep. I think that's a big one. If you're in so much pain that you are not sleeping, I'm not going to say, yeah, take the pain medication, but for myself at least, if I'm not getting sleep, the rest of my life and the rest of my body and health is going to suffer greatly, more so than if I take that one pain medication or that pain med and then I go and I am extra intentional about what I'm eating, extra intentional about gut health and all that stuff. So I think when you do take it, if you absolutely have to, just be mindful and be intentional about, you take it the next day, maybe like drink some extra bone broth or something. I'm not saying it's gonna outweigh the cons of taking the pain medication, but it'll definitely kind of help your body, level it out, I guess you can say. There might be some people that disagree with me, but honestly, I think that if you're in so much pain that you're not sleeping and you're unable to get anything done, I mean, if you're in that much pain, there's something seriously wrong, and obviously you need to get to the bottom of it and to the root cause. But in the meantime, sometimes it's better to not have your life being a living hell and to just take the pain medication and then figure out ways, alternatives for the future. So again, those are my top ways that I help deal with pain, or help manage my pain, I guess you could say. On top of that, I would just say find things that you love, find things that help you be distracted, and find things that help you work through the pain. Because you know what? Sometimes it's impossible to get rid of the pain, but what is possible is to get your mind off the pain and to focus on something else. And for me, that's always been writing, blogging, being in the kitchen, cooking for people, and even making these videos, it kind of just helps get my mind off my body. So I think that's key. I hope this video helped you. Please let me know any other future little subjects that you would like me to talk about. You can comment below or email or direct message me on Instagram or Facebook. I'll see you later.